Hello, I'm Brandy Love, community dietitian with Kettering Health, and today I'll be discussing diabetes and kidney health. When we think of diabetes, we rarely associate the condition with the health of our kidneys. The reality is, effective diabetes management is tied to keeping our kidneys healthy. Today, we'll be discussing diabetic kidney disease, also known as DKD. We'll discuss the factors that increase the likelihood of developing DKD, the role of nutrition, and some general strategies to keep our kidneys healthy while living with diabetes. It's important to start with what our kidneys do. Our kidneys are truly incredible organs, and their importance in our overall functioning of the body is often taken for granted until it's too late. Our kidneys are complex filtration systems, and these relatively small organs play a huge part in our overall health. They filter waste and extra fluid out of the blood to produce urine. They make hormones needed by the body. And these hormones regulate blood pressure, red blood cell production, and calcium absorption in the intestines. When this complex filtration system becomes disrupted, it impacts our entire body. When our kidneys can no longer do these jobs, this can greatly impact our health, our quality of life, and if our kidneys fail, it can turn into a life-threatening situation. Therefore, it is essential that we do what we can to protect and maintain kidney health. Now that we understand how kidneys function, let's define and discuss diabetic kidney disease. DKD is a renal disease caused by uncontrolled diabetes. Diabetes can impact our entire body, literally from our head to our toes, and our kidneys are no exception. Elevated blood sugar levels damage our blood vessels and nerves throughout the entire body. This increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, neuropathies, blindness, and the list goes on. Diabetes truly accelerates the aging process and can have major consequences for our health. When we think of the factors that affect the health of our kidneys, it's important to recognize that diabetes is the number one cause of kidney disease. About 1 in 3 people living with diabetes have some degree of DKD as a result of persistently high blood sugar levels. It's also important to note that blood pressure, specifically high blood pressure, is the number 2 cause of DKD. So if you're struggling with your blood pressure, we need to work to get that in check as well. When kidney function deteriorates as a result of diabetes, this is also known as diabetic nephropathy. Nephro means of or related to the kidneys. Pathy refers to a disorder. DKD is the result of uncontrolled blood sugars over time, causing damage to the small blood vessels in the kidneys. Persistently elevated blood sugar also damages the delicate filtering units in the kidneys called nephrons by slowly causing scarring and thickening. If this damage continues over time, the kidney can no longer filter the waste, extra fluid, and other substances from the blood. As diabetic nephropathy progresses, continued damage and progressively high blood pressure can occur. There are different stages associated with diabetic kidney disease, and when recognized early and action is taken, we can take steps to prevent kidney dysfunction from progressing to kidney failure or end-stage renal disease. Once a person is in end-stage renal disease, the situation is dire, and a person may need dialysis or a kidney transplant to sustain life. The goal is to protect our kidneys and avoid getting to that point. In the early stages, kidney disease has little to no symptom. This is crucial because if identified early, you can intervene to stop or slow the progression to later stages of kidney disease. As it progresses, some symptoms may start to manifest as a result of the kidneys being unable to filter waste and excess fluid from the blood. Usually, by the time someone is exhibiting other symptoms or overt symptoms of kidney disease, the disease is well advanced. So it's very important to be monitored regularly by blood and urine tests so that healthcare providers can detect problems before the symptoms show. That includes protein in the urine, swelling and fluid retention, confusion, nausea and vomiting, and shortness of breath. We know there are certain risk factors that can increase the chances of you developing DKD. That includes high blood sugars, blood pressure, obesity, and a family history of diabetic kidney disease or other kidney diseases. So, how do we prevent DKD? What are the ways that we can decrease our risk of diabetic kidney disease and keep our kidneys healthy? We are going to talk about some of these strategies. One of the most important ways we can keep our kidneys healthy is to know your numbers. It sounds like a simple thing, but this is really the foundation to protecting your kidneys when living with diabetes. The single most important thing you can do for your kidney health if you're living with diabetes is to make sure you're keeping your diabetes under control. Monitoring your glucose levels and keeping your A1C in check are important to help guide your treatment regimen and prevent not just kidney disease, but other diabetes complications. Manage your blood pressure as well. Diabetes and high blood pressure often go hand in hand. And we know that both elevated blood glucose and high blood pressures damage those amazing kidneys. So keeping those numbers in check can keep our kidneys healthy and happy. Making dietary changes and adhering to recommendations is an important part of managing your diabetes and keeping your kidneys healthy. If you already have some degree of chronic kidney disease, your diet plays a role in keeping this from progressing. Get your kidney function labs and urine checked and be aware of the trends. Is it a positive progression? Are you noticing a decline in certain labs? Be mindful of those trends and use that information to perhaps modify your lifestyle or diet habits. We know that those with diabetes and chronic kidney disease are already at higher risk for heart disease, so it's also important to monitor your cholesterol. Now, how we fuel our body is an important component of not just our kidney health, but our overall health in general. Making dietary changes and adhering to recommendations is an important part of managing your diabetes and keeping your kidneys healthy. If you already have some degree of chronic kidney disease, your diet plays a key role in keeping it from progressing. With kidney health, each person may have a different dietary guideline depending on the unique situation, so keep this in mind. In general, work to consume adequate lean protein, which includes chicken, fish, turkey, lean beef, and plant proteins like beans, edamame, lentils, nut butters, and even tofu. Increase the non-starchy vegetables as they are lower in calories and carbohydrates, but full of fiber and nutrients. They are digested more slowly and are less likely to cause a rapid rise in your blood sugar. Also include whole grains and assorted fruits for a well-balanced diet. Hold that salt. Excess sodium intake can further tax our kidneys and have a negative effect on our blood pressure, as people with kidney disease may have trouble eliminating excess sodium and fluid. So make sure you hold that salt. Monitoring your sodium intake is an important step in maintaining that kidney health. Sodium is often hidden in places that we don't even realize. So choose fresh and frozen foods when possible, and look for reduced sodium or no salt added canned goods in your local stores. Become a label reader and choose brands with lower sodium content. You want to look for foods with less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. These foods are considered low sodium food items. Although you are decreasing the salt you use, you don't have to sacrifice flavor. Add citrus to fish. Use a splash of vinegar for a zesty salad. Add garlic, onion powder, paprika to almost any dish to enhance the flavor profile. Remember, restaurant and fast food meals, cured meats like sausage, deli meats, hot dogs, and canned goods may have a significant source of salt. Make sure you talk to your doctor before using any commercially used salt substitutes as well, as these can be a problem in later stages of kidney disease, as some of those salt substitutes contain potassium chloride. So opt for salt-free seasoning blends and add them to any dish to kick up the flavor. And if you have high blood pressure, work with your healthcare team to identify the sources of sodium in your diet and strategies for decreasing the intake. Skip that added sugar. Try to limit the sweets and soda, drinks with added sugars, and refined carbohydrates because of how they impact your blood sugar. Chips, snack crackers, cookies, cakes, and pies can elevate your blood sugar significantly. Now, as we emphasized before, the best thing you can do to keep those kidneys healthy is to have good diabetes management. Remember, the better we keep those blood sugar numbers, the less strain on our kidneys. Choose whole grain options. And let's talk about the difference between whole grains and refined or white grains. Whole grains contain 3 layers: the bran, the endosperm, and the germ. Most of the nutrients present in the grain, so your fiber, your B vitamins, iron, zinc, phytonutrients, are located in the germ. When grains are highly processed or refined, the bran and germ are removed, which also removes those important nutrients I mentioned. Whole grains are not only important for the nutrients they provide, but dietary fiber in many forms has been shown to be protective against DKD. A fiber-rich diet promotes gut health, provides a good source of energy, and provides a feeling of fullness that might also help with weight management. So go for the grains, whole grains that is. As our kidneys become overworked and sustain damage, it may become necessary to monitor the intake of certain nutrients, namely your potassium, phosphorus, protein, and sodium, because your absorption of these can be impacted by reduced kidney function. Healthy kidneys remove phosphorus and potassium from the blood. Unhealthy kidneys can cause a buildup of these nutrients in the blood and sometimes require extra monitoring. Extra salt and protein can cause already at-risk kidneys to work even harder. Always talk to your healthcare provider to see if this applies to you, as every person is different. A dietitian may be able to help guide you through meal planning and the selection of lower potassium and phosphorus food items, if you have those specific dietary restrictions. Another important aspect of your kidney health is your relationship with your healthcare providers. Keeping the lines of communication open with your healthcare team is absolutely essential. Don't be afraid to discuss any of your concerns. With diabetic kidney disease, it is important to adhere to your treatment regimen even if you are feeling well. Remember, blood sugar and blood pressure can be elevated and causing damage without you even knowing it. If you're experiencing any side effects and problems with your treatment regimen, discuss these issues with your team so that adjustments or modifications can be made. And always talk to your doctor about any over-the-counter medications or supplements that you're using, as some can be harmful to your kidney function. And you don't want to add that layer on top of impaired kidney function, okay? Also, don't be afraid to utilize other members of the healthcare team: dietitians, pharmacists, diabetes educators, and others can provide valuable information. These team members have a wealth of knowledge and can give you individualized tips and advice on how to better manage your diet, lifestyle, and other factors that impact your health. In summary, don't take your kidney health for granted. Be proactive. Now is the time to save your kidneys for later. Strive to maintain a healthy lifestyle and keep those numbers in check. Be an active participant in your healthcare. Remember, progress is greater than perfection. I'd like to thank you for joining me today for my presentation on diabetes and kidney health. I hope you found this information useful. I'm Brandy Love, Community Dietitian here with Kettering Health.